So here's the thing, I don't think you're appropriate for probation, so I'm not gonna grant your application.
My mom passed away. I can admit that I just spiraled down just immediately after she passed away. Like I couldn't handle it. And then I needed help.
Welcome to the Court of Justice.
Court is calling 2025 CR 014167, State versus Melissa Paez. Can I have parties announced?
Robert Maurer for defendant.
And are you Miss Paez? Just 1 second. Odyssey has been extremely slow. I know
One of
that's
us not
nothing
speak ill of
new.
Odyssey, Judge.
So let me see. All right. And you're Miss Paez, correct? All right. You entered a plea of guilty on January 21st. The enhancement was waived. The PSI was waived. The TAP evaluation was expedited. Counsel, have you received, and state, have you received the TAP evaluation?
We've received it, Judge.
Any objection to the TAP evaluation, state or defense?
No.
Then according to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,200 fine. State is opposed to your application. This is running concurrent with 2025 CR 008396. The state is taking in consideration 2025 CR 014168. Was there a plea on the 2025 CR 008396 case?
Yes, please.
Could I have the plea paperwork on that, please?
Second
Yes, there are
defendant.
two cases.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wrote down the one.
No problem.
What's her name?
Paiz, P-A-I-Z.
All right, and the court is also calling 2025 CR 008396 as well. And state, do you have any witnesses you're opposed? Defense, any witnesses you're opposed?
No, Judge.
All right, state, you're opposed. I'll hear your argument, but before we do that, for the record, in cause number 2025 CR 008396, there was a plea of guilty to count one. The enhancement in count two was waived without objection. And according to the plea bargain agreement in that case, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,200 fine. This case is to run concurrent with 2025 CR 014167, taking in consideration 2025 CR 015020 and 2025 CR 015019. All right, the court will hear argument.
She would be a good candidate. She's done 2 trips to prison in the past, but more importantly, crimes she's had in her history of crimes of moral turpitude. She's also involved in people's information. Based on the TAP evaluation, it appears Ms. Paez is not motivated, and in the state's opinion, motivation is the biggest driving factor for someone to be successful on probation because this is reasonably less.
All right, defense.
Judge, I spoke with Ms. Paez and she wanted me to speak on her behalf. So she informed me, and I think it's noted in the TAP evaluation, she has 4 kids, and they're currently in custody of the father-in-law. And apparently she had congenital heart failure and epilepsy. So while she was in the hospital, the kids were removed from her custody. I would anticipate if the court grants her release, there's going to have to be some sort of CPS plan before she can get custody of the kids. She informed probation, informed me she planned to live with a friend of hers. She did mention, I mean, she's had prior criminal convictions for probation for drug use and indicated use of amphetamines and marijuana. But according to the TAP evaluation, none for 5 years. She would like to ask the court for probation so she can get out and try to take care of her kids and give her a chance to get back on track and hopefully stay out of trouble. So I'd ask the court to grant her application for probation.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say?
I would be.
Well, here's the thing. Before you say anything, I would have to place you under oath, and the state would have an opportunity to ask you questions. So do you wish to say anything? It's up to you. All right. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. I'm going to need you to speak up so I can hear and probation can hear, and so that the state can hear. All right. If you'll state your name for the record.
Melissa Renee Pice.
All right. Whoever wishes
Melissa,
to
what would you
proceed.
like to tell the judge about why you think you should be given an opportunity of probation?
I think that I should be given an opportunity of probation because I have been incarcerated twice in the past, but I do have children out there and I do want to be in their lives. The only way I'm going to be able to get back in my children's lives is if I get back on the right track. And in order for me to do that, I know what the consequences come if I take this probation. If I mess up, I know that I'm going to have to go back and do a lot more time. So I know that. But the longer that I wait to get my life on track, I'm not going to be able to have my kids by then. And I need to do that. When I get out, I have 2 job offerings, one at a Bolero and one at a hotel. Both of my friends are offering me jobs there immediately. And I have no issue with submitting drug urinalysis. I have no problem doing none of that. And I just would like to be given that chance.
Pass the witness.
Any questions?
Ms. Pius, you mentioned your children. Were you thinking of your children when you committed the offenses?
No.
How is the court to believe now that you're gonna use your children as motivation?
I would
be successful on probation.
I was grieving whenever I committed these crimes. My mom just passed away a year ago, this last month, just passed away. So I wasn't in the right frame of mind with these crimes. I wasn't thinking about anybody. I was being selfish. Thank you.
I don't have anything further.
All right. I have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't understand how your grieving translates into your committing crime. And the reason why I'm asking, I'm trying to understand your thought process.
Hey, when my mom passed away,
Does anybody have any Kleenex over there? Okay.
my mom passed away. I can admit that I just spiraled down just immediately after she passed away. Like I couldn't handle it. And then I needed help paying for my brother's bills whenever I got out because I was living with him. I rolled out to Bevo, and I just got into something that was easy and it just stuck. And that's why I did it, because I just wanted to help, but drugs was never my addiction problem. It was the fact that I needed to help and I couldn't, but I was
So sorry. Excuse me, miss. You're going to have to take a seat. All right. You may continue.
I was grieving, and I can admit that I did start doing drugs, but like I said, drugs has never been my thing. So when I did that, it's just like when I got stuck doing that one thing on that drug, that it just kept going from there, and I just kept
And
going.
where were your children doing all of this?
They were my father-in-law. But my father-in-law again was telling me that I couldn't get back into my children's life until I was stable, and I understood that. But again, I was grieving and I started doing drugs, and I just, I got stuck in that predicament. And my parole out to is Bevo, and they're over here in San Antonio.
So your parole offers what?
I paroled out to Bevo where my mom lived,
Mhm.
and my kids are here in San Antonio.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. So here's the thing. I don't think you're appropriate for probation. So I'm not going to grant your application. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fine you, and cause number 2025 CR 014167. Court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to a $1,200 fine. Time and money will run concurrently. Court will request the therapeutic community. This will run concurrent with 2025 CR 008396. Take in consideration 2025 CR 01468. There's to be no contact with, I'm sorry, state, you may be excused. There's to be no contact with Mission Mitsubishi at 9800 San Pedro. And Charlene Hill. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. And the court will sentence you to 9 years in the prison and give you credit for any time served. And that cause number, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. And cause number 2025 CR 008396. The court is going to find you guilty. Court will give you credit for any time served. Court will sentence you to 9 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $1,200 fine. Time and money will run concurrently. Concurrent with 2025 CR 014167. Take in consideration 2025 CR 015020 and 2025 CR 015019. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal? And I'm sorry, the court is also going to order the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. The therapeutic community is designed to help you with whatever issues you may have. It's to help you hopefully come back into society, rehabilitated, and be successful and not get sent back. I don't have any jurisdiction to force them to place you in the program, but in the judgment, it'll see that the court requested the therapeutic community. It won't increase the time that you're in custody, and you'll need to request it as well. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, counsel. All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 3142, State of Texas versus Manuel Sandival. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
defense?
Elizabeth Settle for the defense.
All right, on this, I need an a trial court certification.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Judge.
No problem.
The
Oh, there-
agreement just to continue. just in
Yes, yes.
case.
Oh, and has James Toshi addressed Neum? Oh, he's there. Okay. Oh,
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Sandival, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did, Judge.
Are you the same Manuel Sandival who was placed on community supervision in 2023 CR 3142 for the offense of assault family second offense on August 29, 2023 for a term of 6 years? Is that you?
Yes, it is, Judge.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 1, on or about the first day of October 2023 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Manuel Sandival, committed the offense of possession of controlled substance PG1 in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 6 years in prison and up to a $1,500 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court would find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you deny the motion and continue the defendant on probation. We're asking that he remain in custody until he does the TAP evaluation. We'd like to amend his conditions to include a weekly urinalysis via the IVR hotline and to follow the TAP recommendations. And we're asking that if they recommend some sort of treatment, that it start with the intensive outpatient treatment, Judge.
All right, and what are you doing with the new case?
We're gonna TIC that case. It's a possession less than gram case, Judge, and it's Night Mag 732498.
All right, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
We are, Judge.
Probation, what are you recommending?
Exactly what ADA broken described.
Okay. Hank? Hank?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sure, thank you. All right, Mr. Sandival, are you asking the court to follow this agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
My name is Manuel Sandival.
All right, how often are you using drugs?
I want to say once a week.
All right. And have you obtained employment before this?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what do you do for a living?
I do custodian work.
Do you have any children?
No, Your Honor.
Who supports you? Who are you living with?
Right now I'm living with my my mother. She's disabled.
All right. Okay, any other questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court will do. The court will deny the motion. Alter and amend conditions to include a TAP evaluation in custody. We're going to follow the TAP recommendations. However, I want him to start with intensive outpatient treatment. And there's to be the UA hotline until further notice. Is there anything else that you need to be successful?
No, Your Honor. That'll be it.
Probation?
Your Honor, I would like to, just thought about this, there may be a little time frame before he's actually into the treatment phase of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would also request, sober support.
All right, we're going to do sober support meetings, 90 and 90 days. And probation, we'll do field visits one time for 3 months. And if everything is okay, you can do the field visits as probation deems appropriate. All right, is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further, Judge.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Sandival, from here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 6 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. You have a choice to make. Do you want to spend your time in prison and in and out of jails or not? You understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, good luck to you.
You can see it in her eyes. The moment Melissa Pezy realizes her own words just built her prison cell. She's standing there, hands trembling, tears soaking her face after asking the bailiff for a Kleenex. For kids at home, a mother who just passed away, congestive heart failure, epilepsy. By every measure, this is the kind of story that makes you want to believe in second chances. And Judge Stephanie Boyd does listen. She lets Melissa explain, lets her paint the picture of a woman who spiraled after loss, who made terrible choices but swears she's ready to change. Job offers waiting, willing to take drug tests, just wants to get her babies back. But then the judge asks the question that changes everything. Where were your children while all this was happening? And Melissa answers honestly, because she doesn't yet understand what that honesty will cost her. The kids were in San Antonio, with their grandfather, safe, while she was in another town, Vival, committing crimes, paying for her brother's bills, grieving, yes, but also choosing to leave her children behind to feed an addiction she insists isn't really hers. Judge Boyd leans forward. You can feel the shift in the room. The compassion is still there, but it's been replaced by something harder. Clarity. I don't think you're appropriate for probation, she says. Not angry, just certain. 9 years. That's the number. Not because the judge is cruel, but because Melissa just proved she still doesn't understand the difference between a reason and an excuse. And in this courtroom, that difference is everything.